This podcast is brought to you by Most Valuable Podcasts, saving your day from boredom with the best podcasting entertainment.
What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Widmer here, along with fellow Manchild, Johnny Karlic.
Rubber baby buggy bumpers!
Oh, you're not going to say we are number one, trying to get that stuck in my head again?
I already did.
Like,
why do I have to?
I forgot it was even a thing, and then Johnny's like, oh, you know that theme, right? And I was like, no,
What
and then he
theme?
played
What?
it. Oh, now I'm going to have to listen to How to Make a Cake, featuring Little John also. But
What?
welcome into the Rick and Johnny podcast. You might be thinking, guys, do you do laundry? Because it's been a full week and you're wearing the same clothes that you were wearing
I have a
last
shirt
week.
for Monday, shirt for Tuesday, shirt for one. It's all categorized. This is my Sunday shirt.
So what we are doing is we're recording massive podcasts in one long sitting because Dave and I, as you are watching this, are in Vegas and California.
Thanks, guys.
Johnny is going to be sleeping in maybe on a Sunday.
Yeah, you know, sleeping in is 8 o'clock for me.
As we're also at noon while we're recording this. But welcome into the Rick and Johnny podcast where we talk about nerdy stuff, superheroes, TV, movies, basically everything under the two nerdy suns. Thank you. I thought you were going to forget for a second.
No.
But before we get into everything, make sure to check out patreon.com/mostvaluable podcast. That is how you help support us. The bronze, the silver, the gold tier. It is how we are able to do what we do each and every week, and we love all of our patrons and thank them for their support. You can join us for as low as $1. You get access to our Discord. You get the MVP podcast a month early before everyone else. So go ahead, check those rewards down in the description. But Johnny, jam-packed show this week. It is a complete MCU show while Dave and I are in Vegas. And also while you are watching this, happy Independence Day, 4th of July for everybody, as it happened last week. I forgot to say it before last week's podcast. So for everyone who had time off.
Oh, now I remember. I'll be in
enjoyed that time
Wisconsin
off.
by this time.
Will you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I'll be in Vegas. I'll be in a gym watching basketball. You'll be at a water park. Is that what you're doing?
No, family thing.
Okay.
Someone's backyard.
Mudding?
Someone.
Hunting? Is that what they do in Wisconsin?
That's because it's Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Doesn't mean I'm doing those
basically.
things.
But thank you for watching and listening. That's going to be the show, everybody. But no, we're talking about an entire MCU
There's a reason
show.
they make your shorter name Dick.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at Keanu Reeves, the best MCU character for him. We're going to be continuing a conversation that Johnny and I had last week with how to introduce Falcon into the MCU as Captain America. And then should Marvel cast Hugh Jackman, not just Hugh Jackman, Hugh Jackman.
No, huge jacked man.
Hugh jacked man as Norman Osborn into their Spider-Man series. And Johnny, the first one, let's get into this Keanu Reeves stuff, because I know that you had said to me, Ricky, why are we talking about this? We already talked about him possibly being in the Eternals movie, which you can check out on our YouTube channel. But the reason why I'm bringing this back to light is apparently it came out that Kevin Feige and Marvel reach out to Keanu Reeves at the beginning of each year. And they basically try to figure out a character that he could play in the MCU. And I know that there were rumors that he could be in the Eternals movie, but there are other characters that he could play. And now with Phase 4 booting up, they're doing it again to try to find characters. So what we're going to do is try to find the best character. And before we do that, I am going to list off, there's an article from Screen Rant where they have a couple. I'm going to throw out all the ones that they have. And then, Johnny, I'll let you start the discussion of, out of those, if there's one that you're thinking, we're going to try to find the best character for Keanu Reeves today. And here's the ones they have listed. Adam Warlock, Namor, Moon Knight, Mark Spector, Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, Silver Surfer, Norrin Rad, and Galactus are the ones that they have listed. For you, What do you think is the perfect character for Keanu Reeves in the MCU?
I'm going. My first two are either going to be Adam Warlock or Moon Knight because I'll be honest. To me, using him for Silver Surfer, or even Reed Richards, and Reed Richards a little bit down the list from Silver Surfer. He's got just the past 3 John Wick movies, he's got a shit ton of tactical training. Yeah. Do you really want to waste that? Like, I'm not saying that, that's why we're bringing in the MCU, but I mean, Moon Knight's perfect for that one. And followed by Adam Warlock. He's kind of got the look already. It'd be kind of cool. It's kind of interesting to see a golden-haired Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Especially if they make him more like the Sovereign, where they have gold skin, gold hair. Yeah. That'd be interesting too. But I mean, from Adam Warlock in this, they may not. They may. It depends on what iteration they want to do. If they want to keep him as the Sovereign. But he's not my top pick. I mean, Moon Knight, I guess from this list is my top pick. If you could get him to cut his hair, or if you want to go with that kind of version, I would say cut his hair if you want to go classic Namor. And I would keep the beard though, the scruff and stuff
for Namor.
Namor even, yeah. But with that, if he were to get a haircut, you could also have him play Reed Richards, and then all the training he's gone through doesn't necessarily go to waste.
Here's the thing I think of with Keanu Reeves, and I feel like this plays into finding the perfect role for him. Is it going to be a character that's like Chris Hemsworth, where you're in it? You're here, you're in it because your character is vital to our MCU.
That's true too.
Or is it more of like a, I'm even blanking on who played Ego, the Living Planet. Was that Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell.
Or is it a Kurt Russell situation?
One and done.
You're in a movie. We got you your Marvel part. You're gone, kind of a thing. There have been other actors and actresses that have done that. Yeah. Hella one of them. For
plenty
right
of
now,
villains.
Of just all the villains because they die off.
Not all of them, but plenty of
Michael
them.
B. Jordan. There's a lot of them that are dead.
Claw.
He at least got 2 movies.
He got 2 movies out of it. You're right.
But that's the thing for me, and that's why when I the first one I would say is Adam Warlock. Yeah. And the reason why I say that is not only does he have the look, but the immediately question that I had, and spoiler for next week, you and I are going to, one topic next week, we're diving into all the Guardians news, basically. Okay. That we've been kind of circling around. And one of the things that will come up in there, but comes up big here, is at the end of Guardians 3, are we going to have a new lineup? And is Adam Warlock going to be the new head of the Guardians moving forward into more Guardians films? If that's the case, you got to ask yourself, if you're Keanu Reeves, do I want to sign up for life? Or do I want to just be a one and doneer? Because you look at it, and as of right now, in 2020, he's only got one film, Bill and Ted Face the Music. But if you look at it, 2019, as of right now in December, he's had 3 movies that he's been a part of. 2018, 3 movies. 2017, 4 movies. 2016, he was in 5 movies, technically. 2015, he was in 3 movies. So it's although you only have 1 movie for 2020 and none for the other years, you got to kind of think to yourself, am I going to be in... I'm going to be in other movies. I'm going to be in other products. And the thing for Marvel, why they've got to me, lock them down now for at least one part, is Keanu Reeves is basically skyrocketed. Yeah. With the John Wick series, he's in Toy Story, Cyberpunk 2077, the video game. His pop at E3... You're breathtaking. No, you're breathtaking. He is one of the biggest movie stars right now. And I just look at Adam Warlock and I kind of figure like, that's someone who's going to be sticking around for a while. He's not going to be a one and done in the MCU.
No. See, he's like a 50-50 about the Guardians thing, but they can still probably find other storylines to follow him with.
Yeah. And that's why...
Well, that's what actually most of the list is. Except for, honestly, Galactus. May only be cameo-ish in like...
Galactus is an interesting one because we want to see him. And for me, he's going to be the one that
he's going to have to be
Thanos.
He's going to have to be a Thanos buildup.
Basically.
Because you're going to have everyone in on this. Again, except obviously everyone who's dead.
Yeah.
But you're going to have everyone in on this one. But, I mean, let's give the internet what they want. They think Keanu Reeves is a god. May as well make him the closest thing to it, right? Galactus?
Yeah. Also, off the train a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at a just random article here from Screen Rant of Marvel villains they hope are in Phase 4 and hope aren't. And this comes into a conversation that you and I had before the podcast where you said there, and this is a topic for a different day for us.
Yeah.
With Thor 4 rumors. And you mentioned the Enchantress.
Yes, I did.
Might be a villain for that. Well, guess what?
They don't want her.
Hope doesn't Enchantress. And they to put it kindly, Enchantress is problematic. The villain's entire MO essentially involves turning men into servants. And they go on from there. But I just found that
You're telling me society wouldn't want that?
Yeah. I just look at it and I just found it funny that you were like, oh, she might be the next villain. Oh, it looks like they don't want it. But like as I'm going through...
I'm going off topic when I say this now because it starts going to that. What if they made a Thor 4 movie where the initially thought Beta Ray Bill was the villain, then Thor kind of gets under the spell of Enchantress, and Beta Ray Bill and Valkyrie have to get Thor out of it.
That'd be interesting.
You're welcome, Disney.
That is.
I would like my name somewhere up there. Maybe help you guys with this.
So, one that looking from this list because. I disagree with them. A lot of the ones that they say doesn't.
Just name them all to me if you have. If it's not too long.
It's 20 people.
Okay, then that's not that.
So here's what it is. So
okay. I'll just say a yes or no as you go along.
At 20, Hope appears. Galactus.
Yes.
Yes. Here's the one. Bookmark this one because this is the one I want to talk about with Keanu in depth. Hope appears. Dr. Doom.
Yes.
Yeah, they're going to do Fantastic Four. Hope doesn't. Kingpin. I disagree. I would love
Kingpin. Throw like a Spider-Man or Daredevil movie.
Hope appears. Morbius, the living vampire. Well, we're going to get that in Sony.
Spider. Yeah.
I don't know if that bleeds over into MCU.
Probably not for a while.
Hope doesn't. Enchantress. I have no opinion.
I would like to.
Like I have no feeling. Yes,
it would be a good route for Thor 4 to some degree.
Hope appears. Lady Death. Now that Thanos is done, I kind of say no.
Nah. Unless it's going to be in a Deadpool film.
That's what they reference. They say it could be a Deadpool film also. Hope doesn't. Abomination. Yeah, you already did it before. It kind of fell flat.
I mean, I wouldn't mind to tie him in with someone else.
Plus, on top of that, did you see the stuff with Mark Ruffalo? How he went off about apparently we're never going to get a solo Hulk film because Universal doesn't want to play nice with the rights.
Yeah.
And you know what Don Cheadle said? They're like, he makes a comment of like, 'cause he was standing next to him during the interview, and he goes, yeah, and with you as the actor playing Hulk, that kind of plays into it also, because Ruffalo, you know, he's very outspoken against big corporations.
Yeah.
Maybe that's also a reason that they don't want Ruffalo being that Hulk. I found that funny. The Hope appears the Brood, which looks just like aliens.
I have no opinion because I can't remember what they are.
Take 1 part Alien franchise and 2 part Body Snatchers, mix thoroughly, and get ready to scream in terror at the result. This is a horrifying Marvel villains, the Brood in a nutshell. The Brood lay their eggs inside hosts, much like the chest bursters. They then assimilate into the hive mind, just like the Body Snatchers. The unfortunate victims end up losing their identities and ultimately their lives in the process. They also have Hope appears, Mephisto. Hope doesn't appear.
Mephisto, yes.
Arcade.
Don't remember that one.
Which, to be fair, if Arcade were a goofy DC villain that showed up on The Flash, that episode would probably have the same campy, fun vibe. He is a penchant of making pop culture references and forcing superheroes to endure real-life video game mini-games that could end up in their sudden demise. They said Hope appears, Onslaught. Hope doesn't appear, Beta Ray Bill. Hope appears. They said Hope appears, Madam Slay, which would be a Black Panther villain. Oh. Hope appears, Grim Reaper.
That'd be cool.
Hope doesn't appear.
He'd be more like a Crossbones style, not kill him off necessarily, but
could work for a Keanu Reeves because it's a one and done.
If he wants to be one and done, yeah.
I'm leaning towards the one and done. I don't know what Keanu Reeves is
thinking. I mean, he might want to do one Marvel movie a year or every other year.
Yeah, they say Hope doesn't. The Femazons, which is basically, from the picture it looks here, you've got She-Hulk is in that, the Invisible Woman is in that. Hope appears, Electro. Then Hope doesn't, the Soul Strangler. Hope doesn't, MODOK. I know you're on the other end of that. You want to see MODOK.
I did when Iron Man was around. Now I'm like, who do you put him with?
Hope appears, Lilith. And then Hope appears, Sophia, which is a Black Widow villain. Sophia had an abusive, I think... Oh, Killmonger taught us that villains with sympathetic backstories. Yeah, so it would be, because they say here, if all goes well, a Black Widow solo movie should be in the works any day now, which it already is. This article was written a while ago. As they were doing, when was this article written? Yeah, September of last year. So we do have more questions now. But Dr. Doom was the one that I... Because Keanu Reeves, I'm not him, so I'm not going to put words in his mouth. If he wants to be in those Marvel films every other year, then sure, an Adam Warlock would work.
A Moon Knight, even a Galactus.
Otherwise, why not make him a Doctor Doom? Like, Doctor Doom could be the... Like, I know he's a villain for Fantastic Four that shows up a lot, but think about it this way. Every single Fantastic Four movie is not going to have the same villain.
That's true.
You can have him in the first one, and basically it's like, hey, you're in the MCU, you're not going to die off, but there's more breathability between films in that case. Because the big question is, how involved does he want to be?
Yeah.
And with Doctor Doom, he can be in that first Fantastic Four movie. Then they can do other things. He can come back for an Avengers film. It gives him some flexibility. We're like, Adam Warlock 2, that just, to me, keeps him into the Guardians of the Galaxy as of right now.
Yeah, for the most part, we just go off of that because we don't really know much of his other storylines.
Maybe a Doctor Strange movie, because now we're dealing with the world without the, basically, Infinity Stones. Yeah. Because they've been destroyed twice.
Yeah, essentially.
They've been destroyed twice.
No, they destroyed once, returned on the second time.
Yeah, but then they had to go back to their original universe, didn't they? Our universe still doesn't have
back in the timeline.
Stones. Yeah, our timeline though doesn't have Infinity Stones.
No, it doesn't.
So I mean, that's the thing of, since we don't have Infinity Stones in our timeline, moving on with that to where I would almost go with or even if you're like, okay, Keanu Reeves, we want you as Galactus, we're going to build up to you. And then it's at that point, hey, we're building up to you, which we're going to have small little appearances for you here and there, kind of like Thanos leading up to Infinity War. Then we get to that next big Avengers plot, and it's like, movie, all right, you're done kind of a thing.
Yeah. I mean, you could do that with him. And honestly, even that wouldn't necessarily kill him. You wouldn't be killing him off. Yeah. You'd be pushing Galactus away.
Because with Keanu Reeves, that's another thing, too, of do you want him to be like your Josh Brolin character? Because then you could tease him. We know Keanu Reeves is coming.
Yeah.
It gives you kind of a build also.
Like, there's different aspects. It all depends on, like, it comes down to what does he want to do. If he wants to be in there kind of full-time, make him a Reed Richards, make him maybe Namor, make him Adam Warlock. I feel like Namor's going to, once he's introduced, he's going to be in there a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or you can make him like, we're probably not going to get Silver Surfer until we start pulling Galactus in. We're probably going to... Reed Richards is going to be one that's going to be in there once he's introduced. He's going to be in movies. He's going to keep going in the universe. Galactus is going to be like teasers, and then he's going to get maybe 2 big movies that he's in. 1 big movie, 2 big movies, something like that.
Let me ask you this. This is coming from the cheat sheet. They asked this question, and I'm going to say no, but I think it would be interesting. Oh. And with you being this guy's main fan, is Keanu Reeves going to play Wolverine?
I feel like then...
Could you see him playing Wolverine?
Old Man Logan, kind of, yeah. Like, what?
But not in... Let's say he's like, dude, Kevin Feige, I'm in. Give me a part where I'm in a Marvel film like Chris.
I'm not saying he can't be Wolverine.
I'm saying, could you see him as the Wolverine that we see tied in with the Avengers? I mean, not like an Old Man Logan spinoff.
I'm not saying a spinoff. I'm saying like you'd have to do the older looking Wolverine. Then I mean, not that he couldn't pull it off. I think he could do it, especially all the tactical training would like play into it because Wolverine's been in how many different wars, so he'd learn how many different ways. Tactics of fighting. Yeah. That'd play into that. But I mean, it'd be like, it comes down to look a little bit. And yeah, he has it now. But what about 5 years from now? What about 10 years from now? I mean, if the internet's right, he's a god and he'll be fine. But
well, and plus, like,
and yes, I'm going to keep riding that joke.
Well, and plus, like, you gotta, like, Hugh Jackman towards the end was very much outspoken about how much fucking work it kept to keep in shape for the Wolverine role. And that's even like Batista says the same thing about for Drax.
Yeah.
Like keeping for in most that of them, shape honestly for is that a lot superhero.
Most of it for them is a lot of work.
Here's an interesting one that I'm also seeing from the cheat sheet that I would definitely not hate. And this is one that goes on the, hey, I just want to be a one and done. Yeah. What if he's Nightmare in Doctor Strange 2?
That'd be cool.
Because, like, we know that Nightmare is probably going to be that villain because the director
doesn't
talked about
have to be done either. That's the great part.
You don't have to kill him.
But you hear that, Marvel? You don't have to kill him.
You don't have to kill a villain.
Because let's put it this way.
But at the same time, we know Dormammu is the big baddie for Doctor Strange.
Well, let's put it this way. If you're going to cast Keanu Reeves, would you more so not want to have him in a role that could come back again?
I would.
If I were Marvel, I would want one that, like, hey...
Unless he told me specifically I want to be one and done. Yeah.
If he told me he wants to be one and done, make it a kill-off one or something like that. But if he's not opposed to coming back, if I were Marvel, I'd say, okay, we're going to make you a character that could come back if you're willing to, but we don't have to bring... Hell, I would be happy if, like, he'd say, hey, I want to do it once in a while, but I'm going to do other movies in between. Start up a Moon Knight. You do a Moon Knight origin movie, then you can throw him if we decide to do a Defenders at some point. I think he's part of that group. I can't remember other groups he's part of off the top of my head.
What, Moon Knight?
Yeah.
The thing I'm reading about Moon Knight goes into like what you're saying, where it has the jujitsu kind of background that we kind of seen with those John Wick movies, but if Keanu Reeves was like, okay, I want to be in the MCU as a character that's going to stay, the one Adam Warlock is my 1. Moon Knight would be my 2. I actually like Reed Richards also. Only because it's like, yes, it's a less physical role.
He's also got the look.
But I could see him playing the kind of loof, the loof scientist kind of a character. And also, Reed Richards is very distant in a way, where it's kind of like they could explain, oh, why isn't he in this film? Oh, he's off doing this.
That's true.
Kind of a situation where he doesn't need to be in.
Unless it's a Fantastic Four movie. I was going to say
doesn't need to be in a Fantastic Four movie.
He kind of does.
Yes, he does. That's why I went. So
he has to be in a Fantastic Four movie, but he doesn't have to be like.
I paused, Johnny.
Like, well, I'm saying though, but he doesn't have to be like, hey, there's this Avengers movie going on, or there's this movie. Why isn't Reed Richards here to help? Oh, you can make any excuse you want.
Do you think
he's off-world doing this?
Do you think he fits better as a villain or a hero?
I'm pretty sure he's got the chops for any. So
not asking that. What do you think? What would, as a fan, would you want to see him more as a hero, as a villain? Because I'm looking at it going, give me him as a hero.
I want him as a hero too. I want him as an Adam Warlock or a Moon Knight. Those are the two I'm riding the hardest.
Yeah, I'm gonna say my top 3. Ooh, I'll throw out this one.
Give me him as a Daredevil.
Let me throw out this one. Could he be Ghost Rider?
Yes, I would go. I think I brought that up to you last week when we talked about it.
Did you
at the end of the podcast?
That's right, you did.
Yeah, as Johnny Storm. Give me Keanu Reeves as Johnny Storm. Just keep him the John Wick look too. Yeah, long hair, beard, and just have him on a motorcycle.
I'm gonna say I'll give you 2 heroes, 1 villain.
Okay.
Give me either.
Something weird's about to start.
Give me Adam Warlock, only because like that's the one look wise. Yes, blonde hair would be different.
Yeah.
Give me Adam Warlock. Give me Ghost Rider. Or give me Galactus.
I agree with those.
Give me that big baddie that you can build up to.
I can imagine honestly the Ghost Rider one. Keep it like. Do you agree about keeping the long hair at that point? Or do you
outside of, like, it doesn't matter. Once he's Ghost Rider, the hair doesn't matter because he's a flaming skull.
Because this is what I'm thinking. It'd be kind of cool if it kind of...
I don't think the hair matters is what I'm saying.
I'm saying, like, your opinion. It doesn't matter, but what's your opinion?
I wouldn't hate it.
Do you want to go long hair like he has now, or would you want to go, hey, make him like the comics and give him like shorter hair? I believe he has.
I would say keep the long hair as Keanu Reeves.
Could you imagine just CGIing it so like the hair goes up into the flame then?
That'd be kind of cool,
right?
Yeah, that would kind of work. But this is where. Any final thoughts on this before I kick it to them?
Nope, they've heard my opinions on who I think and I forgot that I brought up the Ghost Rider, so I'm glad you did.
Last thing I want to throw out there, and this doesn't need a big discussion, just a yes or no from you, and maybe this is part 3 of the Keanu Reeves talk in the future.
Oh no.
X-Men character. Is there an X-Men character we're not thinking of that he gets put into that side of it?
Think about that.
Like, that is something that I thought of towards the end, X-Men. Where I was like, we're thinking a lot about these MCU characters. I know Namor would need rights. There's a rights
thing. I think he'd be kind of like the Hulk. You have to throw him in other movies.
Yeah.
Which is what we're throwing in Black Panther too.
Basically. Unless it was like a Universal and they're like, yes, you could do a Namor movie. But that might be part 3 of what X-Men character could Keanu Reeves be, because there's a whole slew of those characters that I could see him as well. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. What character do you like? What characters do you not like for Keanu Reeves? Do you want him to be in the MCU for long term? Do you want him to be a one and done? What are you thinking? But Johnny, let's move on into our next topic. And this is one that's kind of a continuation off of our little... We talked about Beast last episode, or 2 weeks ago.
X-Men, but
2 weeks ago. We talked about the X-Men, but then we were talking about Beast, and we mentioned Falcon in there.
Yes.
Because he's now Captain America. And there was an article that came out this week from Screen Rant that Spider-Man Far From Home almost introduced Falcon as Captain America. And this is what they have written. As it turns out, if Marvel Studios had gone through with one of their early plans, Spider-Man would have met up with another key MCU character in Far From Home. As revealed by Marvel Studios exec Eric Carroll in an interview with comicbook.com, Falcon almost debuted in the movie as the new Captain America. Ultimately, though, the decision was made to hold off in introducing a character until a later movie. So Far From Home could fully be Peter Parker's show, Carol explained. We briefly talked about bringing in Falcon as Captain America at the end. Like maybe once Peter's arsed and he's sort of like leading the team. Like maybe he calls in a favor. But we also thought it was really important to the arc of this movie that there not be other Avengers available to Nick Fury or Peter. So he'd have to step up and do it himself. So that's why they didn't have Falcon introduced as Captain America in this one. But they've got to introduce him at some point as Captain America. So this is going to kind of be us playing a little game, Johnny. And I am going to let you start. You're the Marvel guy. If you were Kevin Feige, congratulations yet again. I've appointed you to this position many times since we've started the podcast years ago. How would you want to introduce Sam or Falcon as officially being Captain America in the MCU?
I mean, it would be kind of nice to some degree. To some aspect, I should say, not to some degree. To some aspect, it would be kind of nice to introduce him as Captain America in a Spider-Man after credit scene. Mm-hmm. Because then it'd be like, hey, the Avengers still need to, like, some of it. And this is me just kind of spitballing. I don't have the like exact verbiage I would want to use.
Yeah.
Hey, the Avengers still need to be a thing, and kind of puts his hand out and say, will you join us?
Yeah. And then basically that brings Peter then into, well, I mean, Iron Man technically made him an Avenger.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, but you're an Avenger now.
Kind of Avengers died out, per se, because like the two main are done. Thor's off world. Hulk is doing whatever he's doing. Who knows at this moment?
Yeah.
But it'd be like, hey, like, just go, hey, the Earth still needs the Avengers. Mm-hmm. Kind of puts the hand out.
And then Peter, that's
maybe make a reference like, we have a Cap, we still need an Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. Because the whole point of the movie is him.
Hey, are you going to be the next Iron Man? I'm too busy doing your jobs.
Yeah, I'm too busy doing your job. I'm trying to look how, so in the comics, how did he, let's see. Yeah, there it was. So in the comics, it was Civil War. I'm going to do a little bit of reading.
Okay.
Here. So Civil War and Death of Captain America. Falcon subsequently helps Cap track down the Winter Soldier. He was also the first to join with Captain America against the Superhuman Registration Act, the SRA.
Yep.
And played a leadership role in the Secret Avengers. Following Captain America's assassination by the Machines of Red Skull, the Falcon registered with the government and was made responsible for Harlem, although he remained in contact with the underground New Avengers. Afterwards, S.H.I.E.L.D. recruited Falcon and Agent Sharon Carter to investigate the captain's assassination by locating the Winter Soldier and tracking down the Red Skull. Falcon resumed working with Steve Rogers following his rebirth and eventual return to the mantle of Captain America sometime later. Following Captain America's adventures in Dimension Z, Falcon met Armin Zola's daughter, Jet, with whom he had a fling. Around this time, during a confrontation against the Iron Nail, Steve was deprived of the super soldier serum, quickly aging into an old man, yada yada. I'm trying to look for the first time. It's like he is Captain America. Yeah, right here. During the time, Sam was drawn to a crisis when he and Iron Man aided Spider-Man in battling Warbringer. Thor, Nova, Miss Marvel was in this. So for me, the thought that I'm thinking.
So it is that newer lineup.
Yeah. Where they mentioned let's see. Joined by Vision, Thor, Nova, and Miss Marvel, the group took down Warbringer and stopped his attempt to bring the army of Chitauri to Earth.
Oh, that's one I read, actually. That's the comic I have at home.
Yeah.
The graphic novel.
So the thing I'm thinking of, and this is the question that I think we have to answer first. If you're Marvel, do you want to introduce him as Captain America in a post-credit scene? Or do you want the first time we see him as Captain America to be is it a post-credit scene? Is it a side player in someone else's movie? Or do we want to see Captain America and boom, it is Sam Wilson?
I want it to be either he is in his own movie right off the bat, or I almost want to say, in a sense, ease people into it and do it as a post-credit scene. It's like, hey, no, this is like to kind of give the people the idea of, no, this is actually happening, guys.
Yeah.
Sort of that idea of like him just like Falcon backpack, get up, but like now with the Captain America star with the basically the Captain America colors on it in the Falcon suit, and then with the shield with him either in arm or somehow on the back, like now attached to the backpack. So a way he can like pull it off the backpack.
Or is it something even as small as like a side thing of like, I wouldn't even do that. I was going to say like in Iron Man where we see the thing in the back and maybe we make a reference to he's actually doing stuff as Captain America. But to me, that doesn't do anything because we already know he's Captain America.
Yeah.
We want to see him as Captain America.
Yeah, so either I want, like I said, I either want him just as the after credit scene to not give too much away, or I want him in his own movie, just give it all to me right then and there.
Yeah, and I
don't want like him sidetracking in someone else's movie, giving me too much at one time. Me going, okay, this is not really going to be much new to see with a Captain America movie. Then,
do we see him as Captain America in the Falcon Winter Soldier series? Because that's still a thing.
It is still a thing. I'm trying to think if that would be, or if that could be. Really, there's no other part of the timeline where that would fit in. So it would have to be Captain Falcon and Bucky.
Because from Gizmodo, it says, now that they've done their part to save the universe in Avengers Endgame, Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes are packing up their gear and jetting off to Disney Plus to star in their own miniseries. Falcon and Winter Soldier is sure to give the duo an interesting space to define themselves as Avengers in a post-Endgame MCU.
Yeah.
So
it would have to be, because he's given the Cap mantle right at the end of Endgame, so.
But are we going to, and that's the thing, are we going to see him as Captain America in that, or is it going to be in that he is still Falcon, because it kind of, like, just because he took the shield doesn't mean gung-ho, I'm Captain America.
What if it's just like kind of like the ease into it, like he's trying to become Captain America, but it's not going to be an easy road,
or
because
just becoming okay with the idea.
It's kind of a combination
he's like,
of both.
No, that's Steve's thing.
I would say it'd be kind of a combination of both, because it'd be him trying to come to terms that he's now the Captain America, him trying to get the world to realize he's Captain America, because everyone in the world would be Steve Rogers is Captain America.
Yeah.
So it'd be like a combination of the two. Then possibly also the backlash of why you working with the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, because I mean, he was after Civil War, he was, and I'm saying he as Winter Soldier was basically sent to Wakanda so that he wouldn't be punished.
Yeah, he went to Wakanda so that he can be deprogrammed, but the world knew him as a criminal.
Yeah, for blowing up the
embassy,
UN, the embassy, and killing the original Black Panther, and that's when T'Challa. Yeah, T'Chaka, and that's when T'Challa took over. For me, I don't know if we get him as Captain America in that Falcon Winter Soldier, because they call it Falcon Winter Soldier.
I feel like they would be like I said, I think it's like the work on into Captain America, like him trying to be like figure out his way of being Captain America. He's not a super soldier. Yeah, he's not going to be able to be Steve Rogers Captain America.
But I don't even think at the end of that we would get him as Captain America.
50-50 on like finally like maybe reference. Obviously, I really hope there would be references towards it. Yeah, like the Falcon Captain America. Maybe in like the trivial joke of pull out the suit and go, hell no.
Yeah, kind of just just like take the shield. No, that's Steve.
Leaves it at home for that mission.
Basically, like, and I almost said it again, basically. But
then like pulls out the wing like he did in not Civil. That wasn't Civil War, was it?
You're talking about Infinity War?
No, it was I think it was
Civil War. Are you talking
War.
about Steve Rogers with his little...
No, I'm talking about...
Falcon.
Okay. Where he used the wing as a shield, and he's firing from above. It's in the photo right here, actually.
Yeah.
He's firing from above it. Mm-hmm. And he's going, like, he does that and goes, I really wish I had that shield right now.
Basically making a joke of it.
Yeah.
For me, I don't, like I said, I don't know if Falcon, I don't even know what Falcon Winter Soldier now, because of that at the end of Endgame, what you do with that. I kind of feel like I would lean towards having him as a set, like how I would introduce him as Falcon would be, you know what? He's in someone else's movie, and that's the first time we see him as Captain America. Kind of just to give us, it's not the main reason why we're here, but it gives us that first kind of toe in the water of him as Captain America. My only thought is, who would that be? Spider-Man would have been a good one, but I get what they were saying. The whole point of this one is, hey, where's Thor? Off-world. Where's Captain Marvel? Don't invoke her name. Which they changed it to that now.
Yeah.
I just don't know who you would pair him with in that sense of like because even if you look at the upcoming movies, let's see, MCU wiki. Let's see the ones they've got. Nope. I want the actual wiki page for the MCU. Let's see, give me the timeline, future films. So the only one right now that they have for sure is Black Widow. We know Doctor Strange 2, it wouldn't be in there. Mm-mm. Is it a Black Panther 2? Do we introduce him as Captain America in a Black Panther 2?
I'd rather have Black Panther introduce Namor, if anything.
What if they introduce Namor, but Black Panther not doing it alone calls in Sam Wilson for help? Or do Sam and Black Panther not have the same connection that Steve?
I feel like they don't have quite the same connection him and Steve do. Mm-hmm. Him and Bucky might, because he helped Bucky and he was the White Wolf.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the Sam connection like Steve and T'Challa.
And I don't think there'd be a connection to him in... Ooh, do we see him introduced as Captain America at the very end of the Black Widow movie?
Maybe.
Like, and then basically... that's what we do. And this is your end credit scene. Or at the very end... when Natasha hands the mantle off to Belova, she basically introduces Belova to Sam. Like, this is the new Black Widow. And it's not a full thing. It's just, we see him as in the Captain America Falcon suit.
You're forgetting the timeline. She dies before Sam comes back.
War. It's before Infinity War. You're right.
Before Infinity War.
The Black Widow movie is happening before Infinity War.
Oh, then no, they're
so
fine.
That wouldn't happen.
It's fine, but except for he's not Captain America yet.
He's not Cap. Yeah.
Which is why I'm wondering if they use the TV series to bring him and almost ease him into being Captain America. Draw out a nice storyline of him. Like I said, dealing with the idea of him being his own Captain America, how he's going to do it, him introducing the world.
We could have that as a post-credit scene, though. It's like after the movie, this is how you do it. Movie ends for Black Widow. Mm-hmm. Credits go. Not even an after credit, a mid-credit. It's just the credits fall out, and it just says the year, which would be present day.
Yeah.
And it's basically... Natasha bringing Belova.
Natasha's dead.
Oh, that's right. Because of Endgame. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
No, but what would be nice is him...
Belova shows up to Sam. And
one way or the other. I was going to say she either introduces or he recruits her into the new Avengers.
Yeah, that works too.
Like Natasha left information till he sent... It was technically for Steve. Sam ends up with it because Steve is no longer Captain America.
Yeah.
And
that's the point is we see him for the first time
in the blue and white, blue and white
red,
star.
White, and blue.
Yeah.
with the shield and everything.
And the wings.
Yeah.
Shield and wings and all. Approaches Belova and say, the Avengers need a Black Widow.
I love how you're like, she's dead. And I was like,
shit.
Forgot she's dead. Why couldn't have been Hawkeye, right, Dave? Right, Dave? Throwing that out at Dave because Dave loves his Hawkeye.
Sort of re-recruiting the Avengers now.
Yeah, I could see that. I don't think, I know for a fact that we get him either in a post-credit scene or a pair-up before his own movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we get it to where it's the Captain America movie. The next one we get is the first time we see him.
That's why I'm saying it's either a post-credit scene. Mm-hmm. I don't really want it in someone else's movie, but make that TV series then.
So you wouldn't
ease into it.
So you wouldn't want it to be like they were going to do with Spider-Man and have him in a Spider-Man movie.
They were going to do with Spider-Man in a Spider-Man movie? What?
So like Falcon.
Yeah.
They, like I said at the beginning, they were originally going to have him in Far From Home.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want that.
Unless it's an after credit scene.
Okay. So you wouldn't want him like, let's say how it was, what's a reference I can say? Kind of like Black Panther and Civil War. Where it wasn't his movie, but he was in the movie.
Only because we already have Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
I want either the snap. This is like...
You want those to be the big reveals of like, wow, we haven't seen him before on the big screen.
Yeah, I want it to I feel like it's only going to hit one of two ways. Like either, so I want it to like either use an after credit scene and just hit me real hard with it.
Yeah. As
I make the whole table rumble for effect. I want to be like hit hard with it and say, he just see him in the blue. Mm-hmm. The red, white, and blue with the wings and the shield.
Yeah.
Or I wanted to kind of ease in with the movie or the TV series, and then bam, he's got his own Captain America movie. Maybe Captain America with a Bucky, and they both do whoever they're gonna go up against. But I want like if I'm gonna be like if it's gonna be in someone else's movie, I want it to be after credit scene. I just want like a short snippet of here's the new Captain America.
Last thing I want to throw your way, and this is just a reaction piece for Johnny. According to Men's Health, Sam Mackey, or is it Sam Mackey?
It's Anthony Mackie.
Sam Mackey.
Sam Mackey.
Sam Wilson.
Anthony Wilson?
Mackie originally auditioned. Our original audition was for a villainous role in the MCU. Same thing you did for me off camera. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you 3 guesses. He auditioned for a villain in the MCU. If you ask me questions, I will answer them truthfully. But you get 3 guesses. Which villain did Anthony Mackie originally audition for and did not get the part? The role ultimately went to someone else. But Mackie's screen test caught the attention of the Russo brothers, as well as producer Nate Moore, leading him the role of Falcon.
How many years ago? How long? Within what year span?
Ooh, this was probably... I'll give you a phase. This was, I think, phase 2.
Phase 2, okay.
This was phase 2. Yes, it was.
Okay. Was it a main Avengers movie, or was it a side?
It was a non-Avengers movie. So it was not Age of Ultron.
I'm saying, like, was it in any of the other Avengers movies?
It was a character that was in the Avengers.
Okay. Avengers villains. Was it the main baddie, though?
No.
Oh, it was not the main baddie in the...
It ended... We thought he was going to be the main baddie. He ended up not being the main baddie.
The Mandarin?
The Mandarin.
Ooh.
Anthony Mackie originally auditioned for the Mandarin.
Interesting.
What would you have thought if Anthony Mackie got the role of
I don't know.
Mandarin?
That'd be interesting.
It went to... Ultimately, it went to Ben Kingsley.
I mean, great role until we got duped.
Yeah.
We got rickrolled.
But I mean, that caught me this week where I was like, Anthony Mackie originally sent in an audition tape for the Mandarin? I don't think I would have seen it. I
almost guessed Malekith, actually. It was my first one. And then you said not the main villain.
Malekith.
From Thor: The Dark World.
Oh, okay.
That was my guess when I was going.
Yet again, shitty Marvel movie.
I was gonna guess that one, and then you said not the main villain. I'm like, huh.
Well, Malekith was the main villain.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, that was gonna be my guess until I asked that last question. I'm like, huh.
Because the only other Phase 2 movies were Ant-Man, Guardians, and Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Well, Avengers: Age of Ultron, but it wasn't an Avengers film. But yeah. I just wanted to throw that out at the end because he auditioned for that. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. How would you introduce Falcon as Captain America? Does it happen in the Disney Plus series? Is he tagged on into someone's movie? Is it one of the first Captain America movie that we get post Endgame? Let us know what you guys think down below. And Johnny, let's close things out with some breaking news. Kind of like the little ticker thing going across. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier on the podcast, first off, rate and review the podcast on Apple iTunes. I forgot to do it for the Falcon one and promote something, so I'll do it here. Rate and review the Rick and Johnny podcast on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. Every 5-star rating. I believe we are still the only, and I'm going to look it up right now to see if we still have our pristine, our perfect 5 out of 5 rating, or if one of you douchebags didn't put a 5.
Actually, I went and put a 4.
Out of 5 ratings, Johnny, we are a 5 out of 5. Sung Hyung says, very good podcast on comics, movies, TV shows, etc. And Nick Peaks found you guys on YouTube, and I can't get enough. Love the MVP. Thanks for doing what you do. Smiley face. And thank you guys for doing what you do. Make sure to rate and review the podcast on iTunes. Helps us get into the ears of more people. But Johnny, before we talk about breaking news, that Marvel is maybe, rumoredly, looking at Hugh Jackman to play Norman Osborn in the MCU. I have a Wolverine question for you, and I throw this in here because Hugh Jackman. Now I gotta stop, think myself so I don't say Hugh Jackman.
They gotta actually say his name.
So we got a comment by, I'm just gonna call him Trix, and on our Momoa discussion a couple weeks ago, here's what he said. Our question was, should Marvel cast Jason Momoa as Wolverine? He says no. They never got Wolverine's costume right anyways. They made him too middle-aged dad Wolverine. Wolverine has a mask, and they never did it, so F them. This coming from an X-Force, New Mutants, and X-Men fan. Every single X-Men movie has been trash anyways. And then I responded, so you don't trust Disney or Marvel Studios to do our... So you don't trust Disney and Marvel Studios to do him the right way? Just want to hear your opinion. And he she responded with, they have never done Wolverine right because they are scared to put the mask on. Hollywood also likes to show actors' faces too much, which at last point I was kind of like, kind of right, because yes, we got a mask for Steve Rogers, but towards the end, it was
always came off.
Mask was always off, and we saw him for who he was. Iron Man.
We get a 50-50 on that one.
But yet again, he was enough of Tony Stark to where we got him without the mask.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, do you think that Disney will do him the right way, because that's subjective? Do you think we'll get a mask for MCU Wolverine?
So
That's basically
I want to kind of clear one thing up, though, because they said they didn't do him right. I think this person might be forgetting, at least from what it sounds like in the conversation, that Fox didn't do him right. Not Disney. There's Disney's Marvel. There's Fox's Marvel. And
that's why I asked
this is only
Disney
now
question.
This is only now that they're connected. I just want to get that clear, though, because so you're saying Fox never did him right. Fox didn't do him right in that aspect. I think they did a great job hiring Hugh Jackman. One of the few ones they got spot on, like Disney gets for a majority of their actors.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. They didn't do him right. it would do it justice to, I would say, keep doing the Disney motto, at least give us the mask this time. Mm-hmm. Like, he doesn't have to wear it the whole time, because guess what? I want to see the actor's face too, to some degree, but I also want to see the mask.
Give me the mask.
Give me the mask. You do it Captain America style. Captain America, a lot of times, has his helmet on for battle, except what? Infinity War? And a few other times. Like,
after Civil War is basically when they retired the mask completely.
And guess what? He was wearing it once again in Endgame. So the helmet came back. I'll call it a helmet. It was more of a helmet than a mask.
Yeah.
But still. So I agree with you. Wolverine, at least give me some of him wearing the mask. Give me it like during battle. Hell, give it to me like most of battle, and then like kind of the pull off and the end of the battle, you can still see his face. Because guess what? I want to see kind of both. When you're wearing the mask, a lot of times that's a lot of CGI to get emotion shown. Yeah, it makes it less realistic. So Marvel, Disney kind of trying to throw some of that realism aspect into it. That's just my opinion.
So I don't know if I'm stealing your thunder here.
Usually you are,
but I'm gonna try to guess. So you said you're gonna breaking news me on the podcast. Is it the article that says Ryan Reynolds will play a different version of Deadpool?
No, I've seen that too, but no, I didn't.
Okay. So basically what I was going to say is moving on from that is, so we're moving on from Wolverine Hugh Jackman to Hugh Jackman now, to where there's an article from WeGotThisCovered.com that says Marvel also eyeing Hugh Jackman for Norman Osborn. This is what it says. Marvel really wants to work with Hugh Jackman, and honestly, why wouldn't they? Though the iconic actor has since retired from the comic book movie game, Kevin Feige and company are eager to get him back on board. For starters, they're still hopeful he'll return as Wolverine, which seems unlikely, but given the amount of money they'd no doubt offer him, you never know. Failing that, though, we've heard from our sources that Marvel wants Hugh Jackman in the MCU as a villain, and they have two characters in particular in mind for him to play. The first is Doctor Doom. The second is none other than Norman Osborn, who expected to make his debut very, very soon. From what we understand, it's still a bit unclear if Marvel will be able to use him in the MCU, as Sony may want Osborn for their Sony universe of Marvel characters franchise instead. There's a chance they could share him as they're doing with Spidey, but things are still up in the air apparently. If Kevin Feige and company get the go-ahead to have the villain in their cinematic universe, though, Jackman is apparently one of several actors they like for the role, since, as we said above, the studio wants him as a villain, if not as Wolvie. That's not to say this is for sure to happen, of course, and as with the other parts they're eyeing him for, it's unknown if a formal offer has actually been made or if this is just an idea at this point. But either way, having the X-Men star in the MCU can only be a good thing, and seeing him as Norman Osborn is in particular would no doubt be hugely exciting for fans. So here's the first thing I'm going to say. I get it. We all want to see Wolverine back, or we all want to see
Hugh Jackman
back as Wolverine. But guess what?
I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh, it ain't ever. I'm telling you right now, I don't think it's going to happen. I know it's never going to happen. Yeah. And the reason why I know it's never going to happen is, first off, all good things come to an end. Number two, Hugh Jackman is what, 50?
55, I think.
Is he 55? He is
54, 55?
50. 50 right,
really?
Right on the button.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought he was a little bit older than that.
He's a little young for 50. He's looking a little young for 50. Or old for 50, because Johnny thinks he was older.
Well, no, I was ballparking. I thought I heard he was.
He's going to be 51 this October.
Okay,
October
well, good
12th.
for him. He looks good for his age anyways.
So, being 50, and Hugh Jackman has said this before in interviews, towards the end of his like Logan-esque career, it was hard keeping in shape, and the amount of things he had to do to keep in shape for that Wolverine character, to where after Logan, after the performance we saw as Logan, after like basically with the what's his name? I'm blanking on it. Xavier, Patrick Stewart, with him in the theater going, I'm done. Like, this is it. This is my swan song for Professor X. Why would it kind of reminds me of Michael Jordan in a way, Johnny. Michael Jordan won his 6th championship in 1998. Retired for a second time. We all thought he was all done. And then came back and played for the Washington Wizards. It's like, why? Why are you doing this to us? Don't, like, just retire. Be happy.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's a little different because, like, different roles are different. But when it comes to Wolverine...
You ended on a good note.
You ended on a high note.
Let sleeping dogs lie.
We had great memories with you. Let's not spoil those memories.
Exactly.
Let's keep them and cherish them for what they were. So I think Marvel just stopped trying to pursue him as Wolverine. Now the other part, the Doctor Doom, Norman Osborn. I'll ask you, which one would you rather him be, Doctor Doom or Norman Osborn?
I mean, as much as I would like to see him as Doctor Doom, my money's on he doesn't want to keep doing a lot of roles at that point, and I would put him as Norman Osborn because that gives him the option to, hey, one movie and I'm done.
One movie and he's done?
Let me put it this way.
Comes the Green Goblin.
Hear me out before we go into that route. One movie and I'm done. They use Norman Osborn to introduce Otto Octavius. Works for Norman Osborn. Whole accident happens. The arms fuse to him. That's how we get and then who knows if we're getting another Spider-Man movie after that anyways.
Yeah, apparently they want to do one more.
Yeah. Use that as the Otto Octavius intro.
Here's the reason I like that. And the reason why I like that is in the comics, although I think his name's not different. So in the comics, you have Ned Leeds becomes the Hobgoblin. If they already have Ned Leeds, there's been rumors that eventually they would like to do the Hobgoblin character and can transition him over into that. Or it could be, no, we just had him as Ned Leeds because that's the name we wanted to use. Yeah. But if you're going to use the Hobgoblin is a character of the Sinister Six or one of the versions of them. If you then introduce Dr. Octavius, you then have Octavius, you have Mysterio, you have Vulture, you have Scorpion, you have then Hobgoblin. You just need one more. And that one more could be an introducing of Electro. It could be you can throw the Shocker in there because technically you've already had the Shocker in there.
Potentially Sandman if you had him from Far From Home.
True, because
or Hydro Man if he's...
Because we haven't seen Far From Home yet, and from what you and I think, or what if the Chameleon? Would the Chameleon join
if he's the one faking Nick Fury, like we think, or been theorizing.
There's several different options that you could use for that Sinister Six. And I feel like if you're going to do the Hobgoblin, why have Norman be the Green Goblin?
Exactly.
It's just, they're too similar.
I would just keep him as Norman Osborn, but it would still you can sort of villainize him in the sense of...
He fucked over Octavius.
Exactly.
It's funny that you say that because you basically laid out the story of the video game.
Did I really?
Yes. So
that's
in
hilarious.
The video game,
because I've never played it.
If you haven't played it, spoilers. So what happens is you're Peter Parker, right? And it's an older Peter Parker. So I want to say you're college intern because you're interning I think it's college age, but you're not in college classes. You're working with Dr. Octavius.
Yeah, you can still intern without being in college.
Basically, with the their project that they're working on is prosthetic arms. and robotic prosthetic arms, which later becomes his fucking arms.
Oh, hey, what do you know?
But what happens is in that, Norman Osborn is the one that right now is funding the project. Well, what happens is at some point in the game, he cuts the funding. And it's like, we have no money to continue this, to where basically Octavius goes on the deep end, or jumps off the deep end and goes crazy. And you basically laid out the entire story of that, of Norman Osborn, and it's kind of like they lead into then a side story of like Octavius and Osborn were in together before Osborn fucked him over and made Oscorp. Like they were together with Oscorp, and then he said fuck you, and that's what it was. So they were together. Norman fucked him over. Now he's over doing his own thing, and then Norman cuts the funding for Octavius's thing. So he jumps off the deep end and then becomes Doc Ock, and then you've got to stop him at the very end.
Okay.
Where Peter makes his own Spidey suit to stop Doc Ock at the very end. And you could do that in the MCU, but I feel like that'd be like, hey, we're doing the same thing that they did in the video game.
It leaves the window open, though. If Hugh Jackman will be willing to return for more than one movie, hey, we can have a Green Goblin.
That's why I feel like just let him be, like, if you're not going to make Keanu Reeves, make him Doctor Doom. I can see him being a good Doctor Doom.
That too.
Because if you want him for a villainous role, could you imagine him, like, think of the Doctor Doom we got in the original not Fan Four Stick, the original Fantastic Four. Could you imagine him being that kind of a Doctor Doom?
He would do a good job.
Kind of like a dick, but then gets the powers, and then seeing him in the full metal suit with the cloak. The only thing with Doctor Doom that's a little iffy is Disney going to continue the Doctor Doom solo project that Fox had?
That's why I'm like, I feel like you'd use Doctor Doom more often than you're going to use Norman Osborn. Because Norman Osborn, you can just leave it. If Hugh Jackman does not want to do it again, but you want to get him in there as Norman Osborn, hey, okay, fine, one and done deal. You're in this movie, you're going to fuck over Octavius, you're still going to be a villain in some degree.
Yeah.
And if you decide you want to come back, we can Green Goblin you. But if not, hey, that's it. Doctor Doom, I feel like, you're going to have a Fantastic Four movie. I feel like he's going to continue on here and there a little bit.
Yeah, and this is...
But since we were on Spider-Man, I do want to go. Guess who wants to reprise a role in a Spider-Man film? The actor was in... I was saying no. The actor was in another Spider-Man film and wants to reprise his role in the new Spider-Man movies. Or would like to, I should say.
Was it Garfield?
Nope.
Is it Raimi? Or is it... so it's not Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield?
No.
Is it... Which one is it from? Which Spider-Man were they in?
The first one.
The Raimis?
Yeah. You want an obvious clue?
No, don't tell me. It's not the guy who played Norman. It's not William Dafoe, is it? Oh, is it fucking Topher Grace?
Nope.
No? Give me a hint.
I want pictures of Spider-Man!
Oh, J.K.
Simmons said he would like to reprise his role as J. Jonah Jameson.
I say
I have to find the article.
He's the Triple J, man.
Yeah, no, I love him as Triple J. Bring him back.
Because they haven't introduced a Triple J.
No, they haven't.
And I'm trying to think, like, the way you make a Triple J is after Spider-Man graduates high school, his first job is at the Daily Bugle?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think. I didn't want to say the one for...
Daily Planet is...
Because I always get the Daily Planet and the Daily Bugle.
Daily Bugle is the J. Jonah Jameson.
And Daily Planet is Superman.
You don't need to have him work there right off the bat. You can just have the Daily Bugle be a newspaper, or how like they do in the Spider-Man cartoon. What was that?
You're talking about the Ultimate Spider-Man?
Ultimate Spider-Man. He's just on a TV screen ranting about...
Yeah. Well... That's even in the video game I like.
That's right, you were telling me that.
They made it modernized where you could just be swinging, and then all of a sudden the J. Jonah Jameson podcast will start playing. And it's just fun little rants.
He's a menace.
Mm-hmm. Who did the voice of Triple J in that one? Let's see. Spider-Man, PS4, IMDb. Let's see. Who did the voice of Triple J in that game? And in that one, it was Darlin DePaul. The guy who did Reinhardt did Triple J. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, that's interesting too. Guess who? Darren DePaul is Reinhardt, right? Mm-hmm. Guess what character he was in Shazam? Sin.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He was in Shazam. So that's interesting.
Since we're getting off topic,
he was also in Triple J.
Getting off topic of people who did voices. You know who also did the voice? The voice of Surtur. Guess what other voice he did?
Of Surtur?
From Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah. Oh, he was in a SpongeBob.
Mr. Krabs.
Mr. Krabs, yeah. I knew that one. That's the one that I knew.
I think I showed you that meme before.
With getting back to Hugh Jackman, do you think, I'll put this as the last thing I reference with this.
Yeah.
What's the percentage you think he actually gets a part in the MCU and we actually see him? Because yes, Marvel wants him, but does he want to come back and do a superhero movie again?
I think he's only gonna. I think the as of now, from what it seemed like, everything, the less likely the role is going to continue, the higher the percentage is going to be that he'll come back.
Okay, so he is.
I feel like
we talk about Keanu Reeves. He is the one and done.
I think he's more of a one and done.
Okay.
Because that's what it seemed like when he was trying to get out of Wolverine. It's like, I don't think he wants to go back into a role that's going to be.
And that's why
17
we're never going to see him as Wolverine.
No, I don't think he's going to come back as Wolvie.
And I mean, Osborn, though, is one they could, as a recurring, it might, like, in talks with Kevin Feige, it might lessen. Because you don't have to have as big of a regimen. It's not as demanding as when you were Wolverine.
Exactly.
The only question is, if you're going to have Norman Osborn, is he going to become the Green Goblin? Because then you're thinking, wow, okay, I'm going to be in more movies.
Or
then
you get
I'm
around
be in
that
the Green
by
Goblin
doing the Hobgoblin.
Suit. Exactly. And that's why I think they're going to go the route of the Hobgoblin instead of the Green Goblin. Because they have Ned. We're setting him up in another movie. However, this movie, it looks like him and Betty Brant are together in this one. I don't know and I could look up here, before let's see, Daily Bugle, The Jackal and Marriage, let's see, The Jackal clones Spider-Man and Gwen Stacy, let's see, when does he, okay, Triple J assigned Ned the investigation into the new villain known as the Hobgoblin. One night, Ned followed the mysterious Hobgoblin after a confrontation with Spider-Man, only to be caught and brainwashed by Hobby into doing criminal acts. The Winkler brainwashing process intermittently convinced Ned he actually was the Hobgoblin, leading him to act in Roderick Kingsley's place on several occasions. Kingsley used Leeds' connections to orchestrate an alliance with Richard Fisk under the name The Rose. Fisk, believing Leeds was the Hobgoblin and his friend, came to New York and set up a criminal operation with Hobgoblin as his partner, eventually coming to Death, the Kingpin, his father. So I don't know if they do it exactly like that in the MCU, because like you said, we don't have a Triple J, we don't have Daily Bugle, and it's still unknown if they do the Hobgoblin. They just could, because they have Ned Leeds. I'm going to say with Hugh Jackman, though, I'm going to go 40%. That's kind of the number I'm thinking. 40% we see
Sounds like
him
a fair percent.
in the MCU. I think there's a good chance, but I wouldn't hold my breath on him being a character in the MCU. There's a higher chance for the Keanu Reeves.
Oh, for sure.
Is going to get a character than Hugh Jackman. How about you? If you had to give it a percentage, what would you say?
I'd say I can agree with you on that. 40% sounds like a fair.
Okay. I
fair
didn't
amount.
think if you were going to go, because at first I thought 40, then I'm like, maybe a 50-50, but then I went back to that 40.
I think 40 is fair because, like
head.
I said, he kind of wants to be it seems like he wants to be a one and done. Mm-hmm. I could be very wrong. He could be like, yeah, get me into the MCU.
Yeah. And does he have any upcoming projects? So he's got 3, 1 in post-production, 2 in pre-production with Bad Education, The Good Spy, where he's rumored to be in that one, and then Reminiscence. So we'll see. Logan, obviously the last superhero movie he did. Since then, it was The Greatest Showman, The Front Runner, and then Missing Link were the movies that he's done since Logan. But this is where you guys come in. Let us know what you guys think down below in that comment section. Also, make sure to support us on Patreon, patreon.com/mostvaluablepodcast. We cannot do these podcasts without the support of our patrons, so we thank them for their loyal support. Make sure to also rate the podcast on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. Also, make sure to follow us on Twitch and sub to us, twitch.tv/mostvaluablepodcast. Johnny on Twitter is WarMachine9085. I am at Ricky Widmer. Most Valuable Podcasts is at Most Valuable Pod. Want to thank you guys for watching this on YouTube. Thank you guys for listening on podcast services around the world. And as always, have a good day, everybody.